Never trust a cow, indeed. That's why you gotta better hang out with the sharks instead. Endpoint have been swimming with them for a while. The question is, though, who's gonna be swimming on which side this time off? Remember, third map, knife round. It's something you'd love to see, and I never understood knife rounds, to be honest. Not the concept, but the strategy, the execution. How do you actually try and win one of these? Because Audience has just been set up for a easy one-on-one over here as well.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he got that tag, scot-free.
Off with all series wrong. Mestel on the close shoulder peak coming through. Will be able to get the smoke down, and if they want to push through it, there's a duelist to intercept on the other side. Mestel waits for them to come through, and he gets one, but it's traded out all too swiftly. DRG doubles up. Heavy gold next to fall, the Israeli duo, and hit the deck.
Yeah, a bomb site taken over rather swiftly, and DRG already in a position where he can siphon off these rotates. Surreal needs this kill. If not him, then the Max, but they're just taking so much damage for these fights and not doing a whole lot to reciprocate. Max finally collecting on one, but there's that push all the way through, and MHL last man standing. One kill already found, and DRG is very low HP, so it's all on Gofolo to hold his nerve, but MHL deals with him rather swiftly as well. DRG trying to play it patient, trying to play it cool, no kit on MHL, so it's impossible now for him to land this defuse. DRG playing that time perfectly, caught him just as he went for the tap, and so there will be no chance for Endpoint to come back into this round.
If God wants to go for a peek or a jiggle, anything like it, it will just be completely dry. So Audience out, despite not having the angular advantage, will at the very least have a theoretical 50-50. Unfortunately, though, that theoretical 50-50 has turned into an impossible 50-50. Mighty Max as well. Solid positioning. Che's actually cheated pots, though. This is big. Che has a chance to actually shut down a couple of players here, but MHL's rotation will prevent that from happening. So Gofolo will just be inching back and saving up the AWP. Endpoint, get there first on the board.
Yeah. Breaking through and doing so on some nice defensive setups. You know, bait it switch on both bomb sites so that from Max at the back of the B site for Surreal to be teed up for one. And then the following on the A play as well. You do find Gofolo. He is low HP, so has to be concerned about getting pushed and dying after time through the smoke. Heavy God will immediately...
Could still be a possibility. Mestel, however, spots them both out, and they're going for the A split instead. They're moving onto the site with 3 players. Might be a bit of a mistake. Mestel's got a one way to work off of as well. DRG is feeling hesitant about moving in, but Audience late activation will find him. Only the one Mestel and MHL on the...
Made the right call in stacking that extra man there. Not onto pistols, and sure, there's an AK in Che's hands, the one that he saved over from the round gone by. But not looking like it's going to be too likely he finds much of anything. AK is retrieved by his teammate. DRG doesn't wield it himself. He's brought to low HP, so may as well give it to a player that has armor at the very least, and that's Togs.
Mighty Max, very low, needs to be careful. The jump spot is the safest thing he felt like he could go for. And for good reason. CT economy can start to be built up as well at this point. Togs taken down now 1 and 4. I've got to say, Michael, Togs has not been very pogs so far in this game. That grenade, though, very poggers.
Yeah, not very poggers at all thus far from one of the shark stars.
Go faster for sharks.
When in doubt,
speed is the answer. Oh. Well. Literally 0 smokes coming out in the middle is something a little bit uncommon for this map.
Yeah. Kind of brave as well there from MHL. No flash to facilitate, no Molotov, nothing.
Oh, Gofolo is just feeling himself right now. The A bomb site has been vacated. Now, there is a flank that could potentially start to transpire, but Mestel's worried about the B bomb site still being a potential destination of attack, and they have forgotten their earlier lessons of, hey, they really like going A.
I mean, what can you do? I mean, that's just great presence of mind there from Gofolo. Killing off MHL in middle, had his teammate holding in for any sort of mid-re-aggression, and then he's just focused on some kind of a push through that A side. And once they find Heavy God, they don't hesitate. They realize that because there's no presence mid, because they found Heavy God, who's often been there as an anchor on that side of the map, they just finish on that bomb site. It's really good awareness, but now all about keeping hold of weapons. Will be a chance for Surreal to do some extra damage to the economy, or at least try and secure his exit, but BRG's wrapped him, and Mestel as well, caught with his back exposed. Max was covering his back to a certain degree, but not to the level that he was exposed from, and he turns the wrong time. So it will be hard for them to realize, but just the presence here from Che has been enough for Endpoint to pull away from that A site, and we see where that bomb is positioned. Sure enough, A will be where the Sharks finish, and Che has so much room. He knows he's drawn attention over as well on that kill on Max, and, well, actually, no, the Sharks are peeling away. They realize that, wait, you're saying you're uncontested? We're going to come over to your side.
Oh, they're not uncontested at all, but the rifle will fall, and Che is the man to deliver. And back to A they go. Togs has been left behind, will not actually find the kill. There's another rifle to recover, so honestly, Endpoint go out of this round richer than they went into it.
Just bouncing between bomb sites. What? A B's free? Okay. Wait, no, there's so many people here. That has to be... That means... That must mean A is free. But that's one of the strengths of having players playing those extremities and keeping themselves alive for so long. You know, Che just running interference for the longest period of time, and as soon as they realized they chose the wrong side of the map, they're fine with tucking their tail and running. Kind of a cheesy angle there from MHL, but not sure that foliage at distance is properly rendered to give you the cover he thought he had.
Now people have to think about
only one winner.
Yes. Only one call out they want over here is Heavy God is dead, and that could be all they need, but a Molotov in Mestel's hand means he's going to be completely useless on the bomb site. DRG finding the second as well, and there you have it.
They're really throwing Mestel into the weeds. His position is so important. You know, playing rotate, he's supposed to be the supportive element to Heavy God, and getting caught with util out is no help at all. Just missing out on that timing, fumbling nades. At a certain point, if the hit is there faster than you can rotate, you have to just bite the bullet and say, I can't get all these grenades out of my hands. MHL, one kill, but will be found. It's more important that Sharks take these weapons away than the other way around. Max one more, but yeah, trades are solid here.
Have like a little bit of a comeuppance and whatnot, but it just seems like there's so many places where he's caught up with maybe the wrong timing, back turn, maybe just been utility and out of position continually when it came to Mirage especially, but over here now with the nade in his hand. Yeah.
Burdened by the responsibilities. Endpoint are a team that have always abided by a pretty supportive system, so bringing players up to speed can always be a bit of a growing pain. We don't know what the long-term plans are with Endpoint. Seeing that Fessor has been streaming on his Twitch, but also not playing with them as of late. So these are curious, small pieces of evidence, perhaps, as to what Endpoint are up to. But all the Sharks have been up to since they've been in Europe is taking names and smacking faces.
And speaking of since they've been in Europe,
be capitalizing on good timings for the opponents that they have ahead of them, but they are underdogs, that is certainly true, but they are certainly playing with the confidence of kings. DRG went straight through, and Togs does at least get traded as well. The Sharks are down in the numbers and certainly down on HP as well, but they do find themselves in an after plan.
a lot of this will come down to the deal between Kafolo and Heavy God. Heavy God's already moved away Into the corner, Gafolo, will he be going for the heart clear? Looks like he will, but his barrel should have shown first. Gets the frag regardless. Gafolo now alone, a 1-on-2. Another opportunity, capitalize on perfectly. Molly could be deployed as well, but the spam's what catches him out. Gafolo still looks to push through, and he's got it all on his own. The big... No worries about a thing, and they know every little thing might just end up being alright. Surreal rotating over. One of the few players who has still maintained that consistency, but Mighty Max is gone, and Surreal will be joining him in the grave. Seems like it's a mass grave, though, because Endpoint are all ending up in the same hole.
Only one kill in response, and that's MHL finally dealing with DRG, who took that fight so early on into this round. MHL is now pinned in position. A nice spray down there from MHL, but there's another one where that came from. Gafolo line. But this might be the biggest lead that the Sharks have attained in a single map this series thus far.
Swung back towards connector. Messel has to try and defend. DRG goes in, gets the first. Heavy Goat is traded out as well. MHL good for one, but as good as the AWP might be, as overpowered as we might be calling it, it's still just not fantastic at moments like that where you need to be able to get out just a few more bullets. The retake will not be looking too easy either, but they have to go for it. Endpoint are finally in a position where they cannot save. Utility is good. Max has got almost a full belt, and MHL, as he tries to move through, has got the quick scope as well. Gafolo's been a hero a few times over, and he wants to try and get aggressive, but MHL is there to punish, and Che, left alone, gets the first one clean as can be, a smoke down as well. He's trying to give himself space, but he'll find absolutely nothing. MHL gives them their 4th round.
An absolute tank. MHL, even in this losing effort, 19 kills to his name and 4 in that round that allowed them to get back in on this retake. If not for his antics, if not this, then at least the round to follow. The Sharks are simply rolling with the punches, and they've got these dualies in the right spot to succeed. It will be a B-side execute, and Tog's already dismissing one. The trades are just not there whatsoever, but MHL finally backing away and finding the frag, but Gafolo's there to take his place.
Gets you down. Gafolo running out of bullets, but that's where Audience Hal can come in and save the day regardless.
A whole lot of Glocks. Well, they will train themselves together. I don't think there's much training you can do to actually win a fight versus any rifle. Alright, he's watching the cross. I guess we call it quits.
It is very brave to have gone for this eco over here, but I don't know whether that bravery is going to net too much. Endpoint at this time might be thinking about what to do with the lower bracket. To be honest, 13-4 is a pretty dire circumstance.
Easier said than done. Weaponry will only get you halfway there.
Follow. Position's not going to be checked for. It's an off angle they're not ready about, but they do at least shade. Heavy God, however, is he aware of a second player who's actually heard him drop down? I don't think he should be, but now that Che's revealed position off the back of the smoke that he just threw, at least an idea should be given up. Rotation. Back towards B. There are 2 players here. And Ardian Zhao on the A-bomb side will have actually taken the better position, so he can give them very fast calls to rotate if need be. They're looking to isolate Heavy God at this point, and as they do push forward, he will fall, but in the meanwhile, they lose Che in middle. The B-bomb side still defends to be put up from Togs. Good for the 1, makes it 2. Bomb has been dropped, and Mestel isn't exactly the healthiest fella in the beginning. And it is... Bad Endpoint just praying for a miracle. Otherwise, they will be facing off against Aurora in the lower bracket, and that is also not exactly an easy team to be going up against. Yeah.
They just can't get one of these buys to fall their way. Even with ideal weapons, they struggled. So Deegs, how can you even really count them? has a chance. Some space is being gained, though, at the very least, towards this A bomb site. HGIHLIGHTS trying to run interference, but Gafolo finally deals with him. They should be allowed to get a plant down, but that's about all the safety they'll get. And they, again, don't even prioritize getting that bomb down. MHL.
Trey's found HGIHLIGHTS as well to start things off. A very strong beginning, and they can completely abandon middle afterwards and just turtle up inside their respective bomb sites to see if Endpoint are looking to accelerate off the back of a death to find some aggression. Max is good for some snappy shots onto DRG.
I wasn't prepared for that whatsoever. Meztol, though, also caught off guard. Smoke phased, and Che will find another. So, dealing with both the Israelis, and Mighty Max sussed out in from under. MHL does clamber back as well as Surreal. So, it's back into a 2-on-2 where they do have access to the bomb site, but no bomb on their back. They left that one for safekeeping for later in the round, so now Surreal has to be extra cautious on the flank. Shay finally sussed out, so now there's safe passage, but they're still concerned. They have no idea whether or not the B bomb site is open or not, because MHL's rerouted. He's gone through the canals, and so Surreal will have to do his best to try and link up with him.
If Artie and Zach can just actually move inside B connector and just keep a sight line out overhead, this could be massive. There's only 30 seconds left, so actually moving in from A main is something that might take a little bit too long. Are they on bridge or are they in canal? They're on bridge. Okay, so they're going through middle all the way over towards that A bomb site. So it's definitely the safest passage for them right now, as we can see, but they still have to be so careful about it, and they should get the bomb plant for free. There's no indication given up by audience now that he wants to rotate early on.
Even this round didn't feel comfortable. You know, got those 2 kills, had the 2-on-1, but because they didn't have that bomb, they did feel safe just sitting on side of the site and taking a risk. You know, Artie and Zhao could have just been sat on that A site, just relying on that trade, and now coming in from A main, they will be without information. He's outside of earshot, but he'll have to make his presence known soon enough. He has a Molotov that can really make this difficult for them. Molotov out and in his hand. Surreal spotted out from heaven, but MHL's there with him, and Artie Zhao doesn't know for certain that that's the case, so 1 kill will be all he gets. It will be a trade, and Endpoint don't go down without...
Could also be spotted out and caught out over here as well, and as DRG starts to back off, Max might be considering the possibility of maybe taking a gander over when the smoke is dissipating and seeing if he can find DRG again, but HGIHLIGHTS' demise gives him a whole lot more information about this possibly being the A site hit. You're going to see Che rotating over very soon. Mighty Max is still in the vicinity. Remember, he's the one who's been assigned lurk duty after getting the kill initially. MHL needs to find the frag, though. Togs is going to be coming in late round through middle, and if MHL can't get the kill, that would be huge. He's turned away. Gafolo looking to defend as well. Audience are good for 2. The bomb has been dropped, and MHL will be as well. It is all down to Max. 20 seconds, not a chance in the world, at least that's what you'd expect. But with 15 on the clock, all the Sharks have to do is wait for him to try and commit to the bomb plant. Up at the back of the bomb site, Max will be going in for the plant. There's no time to actually really try and play around with it, and he's given up the round. He's given up the game by actually taking his finger off the plant. Not that he would have had much of a chance regardless. Sharks are victorious. What a series coming out from the Michael. Absolutely dominant after that first Mirage.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we moved into a Mirage in the first place was a bit of a surprise, a bit of a risk there from Endpoint, but they were able to take their own win. But as soon as we ended up on Sharks maps, I mean, they were all over them. They simply didn't allow Endpoint even a chance to come into either of these games. Won a lot of critical...